Come and knock on our door.
Come on, knock on our door.
We'll be waiting for you.
We'll be waiting for you.
Where the kisses are hers and his. Three's company. Okay, that's. I'm so glad you fucking knew that because. Oh, dude, I was talking to Izzard in voice chat, and we were just like, we just started singing this song. I had no idea what this was, and my question for you, Wes, is this. I watched this show a lot when I was young. Like I was probably like 8, 9, 10 years old. A lot. Hundreds of episodes probably. It wasn't until I was like 35 or 40 that someone actually explained the premise of the show. Did you, when you watched it when you were young, did you know what the show was actually about?
No, I don't think I knew much back then, honestly. No, it was just a funny show with some nice, lovely ladies and John Ritter.
Yep.
And at least for some time, Don Knotts, who I was a big fan of as a child. But no, I don't know what the premise was. I don't think I still know what the actual premise of the show was.
Yeah, it was that John Ritter was supposed to, like, he wasn't supposed to live because it was like the mid 70s when this was happening, and so he had the Don Knotts, this very strict landlord, did not allow cohabitation with males and females in his apartments that he's renting out. And so the whole premise of the entire show was that John Ritter was this total straight horn dog, but like he had to pretend to be gay every single time the landlord showed up. That's the whole premise of the show, and I didn't know ever until like 5 years ago.
I had no clue. I don't even think I knew what gay people were when I was little like that. Like it wasn't even something that had crossed my mind.
Same. All right. I feel better now. Guys, let us know in the chat how the sound is. We're going to be adjusting some stuff on the fly. I think I got some problems with my mic, and Wes's mic might be a little overpowered. Wes, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, we started this thing late, and so I didn't do my normal tests and stuff before the show. So if you turn down on your end, I can turn up on this end, and hopefully it won't overmodulate. Oh,
yeah, I pulled my game back. My game back a little. Did that hopefully clean it up?
I think we're good. So let's go forth and see what happens. You ready to start the show? Let's do it. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, WesDay, and 2 West Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live, 6 p.m. Eastern, or 6:08 as it might be today, for your viewing pleasure. But we also care about those earballs of yours. That's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without Parole. And the gentleman over here to my left, you are right. I'm so glad to see you back. It's Wes Dillon from Virtual Strangers.
I am extremely glad to be back, Brian. Hello, GameCats. No, it's cool, man. It seems like, and I feel like I say this every time, but it seems like it's been a while. Since we've done this.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it had been a while, right? Because I took a couple days off last week, to the detriment of myself and the channel. It was. I think I actually caused more damage by taking a few days off because holy shit, man! I am just like over the next 5 or 6 days, I feel like I'm going to be trying to get out 5 or 6 reviews and Brian bites, and every time I say that doesn't happen. It's like that's what I want to get done, but there's no chance in hell that's actually going to happen. So everything's kind of piling up right now. But there'll be plenty of content on the channel outside of GamesCast over the next few days. So stay tuned. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I can relate. We've been struggling to get episodes up on Virtual Strangers channel for months now. It seems, and it's not for lack of trying. Like we plan to do these episodes. I even got in and managed to pull some co-op off with Roots last week, but it seems like there's always something else that comes up, and we say, you know what, let's just do it tomorrow, and then something happens tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes. So I can definitely relate to what you're talking about here.
Yeah. I will say, man, I will say, I was going to talk about this later, but I feel like just talking about it now. I feel like let's go a little bit willy nilly. Let's follow where the conversation leads us. I am totally shocked how much fun I've been having with Badminton Time VR. Did you get any chance to play this? If you haven't, it's fine. But did you get any chance to play Badminton Time VR?
A little bit. I found a little bit of Badminton Time, and basically, I learned very quickly that I don't have enough play space to really enjoy a game like that. Like I could play it, but it's one of these situations where like my movements were muted, so to speak, because I really never felt comfortable, extending and swinging. And I probably hit my ceiling fan 5 or 6 times in the short time that I was playing. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I did get a little bit of time in there.
Well, I think by Monday's show, I had only played a little bit of single player, and I hadn't really gotten to play any multiplayer because for whatever reason, my co-hosts don't respond to messages when I send them messages. And then when I say, can we play some badminton? AJ goes, no. And then I don't hear from you or Miles for like 3 weeks. So I had to request a few extra keys from Perp. So shout out to Perp, who provided me with a few extra keys. And shout out to Izzard and Rypop and Awesome Tatum, who provided 3 worthy opponents and teammates. We got to play for a couple hours last night in just strictly multiplayer, which was great. We had so much fun. I love the physics in this game. I think hitting the birdie is just like it feels right, and the sense controllers are super lightweight, just as lightweight as a racket would be. I didn't have the issue with you that you had with space. I have very small amount of space to play VR games. I don't have a ceiling fan though. That allowed me to really reach up high, no problem. It was about as much space as I need to play, say, Beat Saber, foreshadowing. So I didn't have too much of an issue. And I just really enjoyed the game, man. It's good. It's got a handful of faults, a handful of issues that I'll be getting the review out tonight. So if you want a more detailed look at its pluses and minuses, stay tuned. But it does look nice, though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's quite polished overall. Just the everything, the general presentation, sound, audio, visually, and gameplay wise. I had the similar kind of vibe that I got when we recently got into that boxing game, whose name I can't recall off the top of my head, but I didn't have super high expectations for it. But when I got in there, pleasantly surprised with just how polished and content complete the title is.
Oh, are you referring to Mutant Boxing League?
That's the one.
I figured that might be it. We're going to jump around with the tips a little bit. We'll get back to the ones I missed. But Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline, on topic with the $5 tip, says, I just have 2 questions. Is badminton better than tennis on court? Let's start. He said, and how is it better or worse if so? That's sort of the same question. So interestingly enough, these are the same developers, Fishing Cactus and Decathlon, and the same publisher, which is Perp and Decathlon, as tennis on court. And so here's what I think happened. They made a lot of mistakes with tennis on court. We complained a lot about tennis on court. They overcharged for tennis on court, and then they listened to every complaint and said, "We're going to make something better this time around." And it's more charming visually. The character creator is awesome. Tons of great environments. And whereas the tennis on court had some really bland environments, the same court with just like a different color. The word's not field. What is it? Color courts, I guess. And not a whole lot of difference between them. This is completely the opposite. There's a ton of game modes. There's mini games, and it's really fun to play with your friends. I think, and they managed to negate most of the lag as well. I was even playing with people across continents, and for the most part, it worked really, really well. So yes, infinitely better than tennis on court. At least tennis on court at launch. I never checked back in with tennis on court to see if everything they were supposed to fix got fixed or not. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the big caveat here is that when we went in to play tennis on court, it was completely broken. But it's interesting you're saying that this is from the same developer. That makes me want to now go back in and play tennis on court again. Because to be honest, I'd prefer a tennis game that works. I'd say the biggest difference between the two is tennis on court is more of a simulation style game. It's trying to mimic the true to life experience, where this is more of a cartoony, arcadey style game with silly mini games and like very colorful, cartoony environments and characters. So they're very different from both an aesthetic point of view and a structural gameplay point of view as well. But no, this is infinitely more polished than Tennis on Court was when we tried it, which again, like you, I never went back to it after that initial horrible experience that we had with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Hot Shots vibe this is going for. I think they pretty much nailed that. They've got an arcade mode, a realism mode, and spoilers for the review, because I don't want to like just have this conversation right now and then make it sound like everything's hunky dory when it's not. The big complaint I have, the two big complaints. One is if you're playing with people online, if you get a group of 4 playing together, every time you switch modes, if you want to switch from realism mode to arcade mode, if you want to go play some mini games together, you have to re-invite them to the lobby every single time you switch to a different mode. And that's, you get the hang of it and you start doing it real fast, but it's still something that you shouldn't have to do. And the other thing is that if you're playing offline, you're able to play in doubles against AI. You're able to play, 1v1 against AI. And the AI is decent. It's actually very challenging. But when you're playing with friends, like say Wes and I wanted to go play a doubles match, but we wanted to be on the same team and go play against 2 AI characters. That doesn't exist. We can't even play doubles against each other, against AI. So there's just no AI component when you're playing with real people online. So it kind of sucks that that's only available in the offline single player mode, but those are it, man. Like those are my biggest complaints. Everything else is like not an issue.
Yeah. I didn't try any of the multiplayer, unfortunately. But because, like you said, whenever you asked, I just didn't respond. But yeah,
it's all good, man. All good. Sirens on my end, and hopefully we'll have a chance to jump into some multiplayer at some point. But we got plenty of other games to talk about today, anyway, that you have played. So we'll focus on those. But I want to get back to the top of this tip list and hit up the Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the level 2 membership. Says Beat Saber this, Beat Saber that, blah blah blah. Who cares? What I want to know is how has Arcanage been selling?
Big.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully it sells big. I haven't actually checked in with Blake recently, so hopefully it's still selling. I can only imagine that the discounts, the sales, have given it a little spike in. Wasn't it? It was 40, right? And then I think they dropped it to 30 for the sale. So it must have helped a little bit. Maybe. I don't hear you.
You don't hear me? Probably because I'm mumbling.
No, now I hear you. Yeah. Also, are your eyes really that open? I don't trust it. Are those AI eyes?
Is the AI thing on? It probably is. I turned it on, I think yesterday sometime. I've been in a lot of meetings for work.
And I have sleeping through a lot of meetings for work.
Well, I have so much work to do that I've been having to work while we do the meetings. Yeah. And I don't want to seem, too disrespectful looking away while people are talking. So yeah, I just turned the eyeball thing on. I'll turn it off here in a second.
It's better than it used to be. I'll say that because it used to be whenever you blinked, your eyes would have to like recenter, like they wouldn't. Your eyeball they'd move every time you open your eyes again. Yeah. We got the Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich again with $2. Says, oh, and before I forget, happy WesDay, everyone. Happy WesDay to you as well. Wes, is your birthday coming up?
It is actually. I'd forgotten about it, but next WesDay is my birthday.
What? We're gonna get to celebrate on air together?
Yeah, maybe Sony will be nice and finally drop that Astrobot remake for us out of nowhere for
Is
my
that is that
birthday.
is that what you're asking for? Is that your first wish on the monkey's paw?
That is definitely my first one. Actually, no, I think Infamous VR would probably be my first wish, and then Astrobot would be my second one.
Damn, I don't have any Infamous trailers handy. That's okay. I'll just put Astrobot up and make everyone sad. We've got Kill Artist One, the Dreamweaver Game Cat, with a $5 tip. Says, happy almost birthday to me. Tomorrow I turn the big 5-0, and I am definitely not ready, nor do I act and feel my age. LOL. Does anybody ever think they act their age? Like, does anybody turn 50 and go, yep, that feels about right? Man.
Yeah. No, I feel like I act my age because of all the pain in my body. Like, you guys have the I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, but every time you see me, it's in this chair. So like I act relatively normal, except for the things that are coming out of my mouth, of course. But what you don't see is when the camera turns off and I try to stand up and walk across the room, and I walk like a 70-year-old man making noise the whole time, like uh. So yeah, I definitely starting to feel the number as it gets larger and larger.
Whenever I see, home movies of other people, or I'm watching a regular movie, kids are always acting hyperactive and running around and climbing trees and do. That was never me. I never had like this ball of energy, right? It's like I have felt like I'm 60 since I was 7. Like, it's just how it's always been. I've always felt old and tired, and uh, so yeah. I feel like I'm finally the number that my age is 45. I feel like now that it's getting up there, I feel like I'm finally the age is finally mirroring how I've always felt.
Yeah, you're growing into your attitude. Yeah, same.
Exactly.
I was kind of introverted. I did like going outside, but I wasn't going out there to like run and play tag and stuff like that. It was more like let's go up into the woods and explore and things like that, you know. And um, yeah, the same. I've been tired literally my whole life. I've just been tired the whole time, and like I don't know, maybe depression. Who knows? I had a bit of a rough time growing up. But I'm in a pretty good spot now, and I'm still tired. So who knows? Maybe not depression.
Yeah, I was a big fan of exploring the woods. We had a lot of woods where I grew up, and that was my favorite thing to do. Just go out there and see what you found. And one time, I found my neighbor's tree fort with just all sorts of shit in there. I mean, like there was weed in there. There was like Hustler magazines. There was, I mean, it
Yes.
was, and when you're 7 and pre-internet, that was just like a whole other world.
I know. My first pornography was discovered through exploration. So yeah, I can relate.
Dude, I feel like we grew up in the right time, right? We not only did we get to see all these advancements that technology brought, but we get to appreciate it more because we grew up without any of it. Remember, like leaving the house for the day? Like we used to go to this place called the Holyoke Mall, and it was an hour and a half easily from where I grew up, and so we'd leave, early in the day, and we wouldn't come home till like night, like 7 p.m. And no one had phones. You didn't know if anyone was trying to get in touch with you or that someone had died. You had just no idea till you got home at 7 p.m. And then you all collectively go to the answering machine and go, all right, did we miss anything? What happened? It's crazy. I really like that we've gotten to see both sides of this.
It's such a different world now, like such a different world now, and yeah, it's kind of crazy just to see how different people are now. Like the technology really has transformed this place completely now from what it was when we were growing up. Like the the people are different. The infrastructure that we all kind of make our lives in now is completely different. It's literally like a whole different world. It's almost like science fiction to some extent. It's literally that different.
I gotta see how many options they're gonna give me. Bitmappy is asking for a poll, so
You
this is
know who
all we can
else
do.
is always asking for a poll?
Yeah. My mom. I wish we had the soundboard here. All right, you guys asked for a poll. You're getting a poll. Hopefully these are decent. How old are you? 1 to 15, 16 to 24, 25 to 35, 36 plus. I don't know. I feel like maybe they could have
It's
worked
going
that
to be a
better.
landslide. These
Oh,
are VR people we're talking about here.
oh yeah, oh yeah. There's gonna be like my guess is the 0% are 15 or younger, right?
For sure.
And and then 4% at most will be 16 to 24.
You're gonna have
10%.
to start putting more gorilla tag thumbnails or something.
Bro, that I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm super duper happy that there is a VR market for the younger audience because they're in such an important market. But I don't think they're here. That's for sure. Okay, so while that poll is going on, let's tackle some more of these. All right, we got that one. We said, also if we didn't say it, Kill Artist, happy almost birthday.
Yeah, definitely.
Comic book guy with the £5 says, "Hi, I've started a petition for Beat Saber to continue support for PSVR and PSVR2. I also did one for Resident Evil 7. I'll sign the Resident Evil 7 one, that's for sure." And I don't know if there's any petition in the world that could convince anybody to continue support for a PSVR 1 game. I think that's some wishful thinking right there. That said, maybe we move on to this Beat Saber topic, Wes, because it is relevant to the tip that we're responding to. So if anybody didn't see the news, Meta announced today, or I guess Beat Games specifically, owned by Meta, owned by Facebook, said, "Hey, heads up." And they didn't give us much of a heads up. They said, "We're stopping support for the PS4 and PS5, meaning PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 versions of Beat Saber." They said the last piece of DLC, the one that already dropped, Abracadabra, is the last piece of DLC you're getting. No more music packs. And also, when January rolls around in 2026, we're killing multiplayer support. They said they got big things going on in the future, and they're going to, and they're dropping support for all these other platforms and going to focus on, I guess, just PC and Quest. So first and foremost, what do you think of this, Wes?
I mean, not totally shocking. I mean, it always kind of made sense to me that if you're trying to grow your own platform, that you're going to use all of your resources to do it. And with Beat Saber being one of the most, highest profile IPs in VR gaming, it totally makes sense that Meta would want to say, well, if you want to play Beat Saber, you have to do it here. I mean, I guess there could be some, um, you know, something to read into this about the state of the platform. Like, obviously, if there were millions and millions of people playing on PlayStation, it would be a lot harder for them to walk away. But I don't think that that's the primary reasoning behind this. I think that they probably have some fairly big things cooking, and they want to sell headsets, right? Like, that's the name of the game. They want to get people into their headsets, into their ecosystem, even, really, because it isn't even about just selling Quest headsets now, because later this year we're going to start seeing third-party manufactured headsets that run the Quest store on it, or the Horizon store, as it's called now. So I think it's more about that. I think they're starting to see the market segment with a bunch of new platforms on the horizon, and they're positioning their assets in such a way to foster adoption of their platform in the next generation. Um, I think the most interesting thing to take away out of this for me is I think this is probably pretty indicative that they're planning on supporting Beat Saber for some time now, as opposed to coming out with a sequel like a Beat Saber 2 or some new Beat Saber. I guess by making a move like this, it says that no, they're going to stick with Beat Saber and just support it with more content, more game modes, hopefully, and so on and so forth. But again, it's all speculation on my part, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting when this first popped up, when this first happened. This is the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning. By the way, like I woke up, and this is what I do. I torture myself because before I even first thing I do, I open my eyes, I grab my phone, and I look and I see if there's any news that needs to be talked about today, any news that's relevant. And this was the first thing that I saw, and I was like, oh Jesus, this is going to be a day. And boy, has it been. But the first thing that crossed my mind when I heard the news was like, well, I guess that Iron Man deal is ending, right? Because we were like, well, why do we had this amazing PSVR1 exclusive Iron Man from Camouflage. The Camouflage got bought by Meta, but you don't just get the rights to Iron Man when you buy that studio. So so they got this better version of Iron Man, like a really good version of Iron Man VR, and we're like, well, that doesn't just happen. That doesn't just happen. So, what were the pieces of the deal that had to, be that were brought into discussion in order to make that happen? Was part of it that we got Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition? Was part of it the fact that we didn't even know that Beat Saber was coming to PSVR 2 when PSVR 2 launched, right? It was Jim Ryan announced that at some point, like very briefly with the Gran Turismo 7 announcement at CES, I think, right? And it was just it just seemed like that there was some deal in place where they were like, oh, we'll give you these games, and Beat Saber, we'll bring it to PSVR 2 and we'll support it for 2 years, right, or whatever it was. And so that was the first thing that came to mind today. And then I saw Jamie Feltham tweeting about here, is this it? Yes. Jamie, so it was an Upload VR thing that happened yesterday, or Upload VR reported on it yesterday. And then Jamie Feltham tweeted about it today. And the Upload story was that Meta has ended Onward's development and merged Downpour Interactive with Camouflage. So this happened yesterday, right? So there's something happening here. There's got to be a correlation. This 100%, way too coincidental to be like, oh, they got Iron Man, and now this studio got shut down and merged with this studio, and then suddenly 24 hours later ending support. This, if you ask me, Sony, this was the deal all along. Sony only made a deal for Beat Saber for 2 years, and that was it. Sony knew this was coming, and Meta was just fulfilling obligations for 2 years. That's I think the extent of this. Like, PlayStation was only willing to, make a deal for so long, and Meta's just kind of patiently waiting for that deal to end, and then they ended it. Simple, right?
So, has anyone taken the opportunity to check the release date of Beat Saber on PSVR 2?
Yeah, it was June 13th, I believe, of 2023. So just under, is that right? Did I get that right?
May 24. It was May 24, but still, that's close enough.
Yeah.
2 years and less than a month. So I think that that's a pretty safe bet there, right? Like, I think that they haven't recently had any DLC packs come out or anything, right? So support probably ended last month.
Yeah, it was just that one. What do they call those drops where they just drop that one song randomly? It was that Abracadabra song. That was like last month, I think, or a couple weeks ago.
So yeah, it lines up a little too perfectly to be coincidence. So yeah, I'd say you're right. I'd say that agreement is now concluded, and they're just moving on. And they probably had some other decisions to make with regard to what they want to do on Sony's platform, and they just decided, well, why don't we just, at least for now, cut ties? And then, if the platform grows, or if Sony decides to offer some sort of a deal to support PSVR2 or PSVR3 or whatever in the future, then we'll just cross those bridges when we get to them.
Oh crap! I was hoping to share some of these responses with you guys, but needless to say, the responses from the community have not been positive. If you go on Twitter and read the responses to their announcement, it is. I mean, I can't imagine anybody being thrilled about this, right? Even if you're on other platforms, you're like, wait a minute, but this is important for your game. Like Wes, this is the game that sits on top of the PSVR2 sales charts. It sat on top of the PSVR1 sales charts. It sits on top of the Meta sales charts. This game just sells well, right? So anyone out there who's saying, oh, it's just not selling, or it's not worth their money, or whatever. No, this is a strategic move, and this is just fulfilling contractual obligations. Meta, listen, Meta throws away billions of dollars on VR every single year, right? They've got that fuck you money that they can do this. So it's not about money. I really don't think it's about, or at least I don't think it's about. I don't want to say this like I know something. I don't. But what we do know is that they spend billions of dollars trying to make VR a thing, and just sorry, it's the amount of it's obviously profitable on PSVR2. It was obviously very profitable on PSVR1, right? They've done the hard work. The easy work is just releasing these DLC packs and mapping those and bringing them over. They've done the hard work. So there's no, I think they're making plenty of money on PlayStation VR2. This is all strategic. This has nothing to do with money. I think anybody out there saying they're not making enough money on the PlayStation platform, I don't believe that for a second.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I guess there could be some avenues that we're not thinking about here with regard to licensing. Any of this music, it isn't the same as just developing game code and dropping it on a storefront and selling it when you're talking about rhythm games, because you have to have licensing deals in place to sell the music on any particular storefront. So, I mean, I guess there could be some cost there that they're mitigating by not supporting. But you're right. The work is pretty much done here, and as many places as you can sell your code, the better from a profitability standpoint. It's just all free money. Every sale after you've developed the title and recouped your investment in it. So, I think you're right. I think it's all strategery. I just think that they're probably coming to terms with what they want their brand to represent in the next gen, and this in some way is a preparation for their next big marketing strategy for the next gen of VR.
Raksha in the chat says, this is how you release great Beat Saber 2 and make it meta exclusive. Listen, this is going to sound like a whole lot of cope right now. I've always been a little bit concerned about this studio, because it started off, it was two people that had an amazing idea for a great rhythm game. And I don't know what they're capable of. I don't know if they're capable of making Beat Saber 2 something that needs to exist. Right? They created the foundation for a great rock band and a place to sell you DLC for the rest of your life. Are they capable of upping the ante and creating something just as innovative and addictive, and that's something that's so ubiquitous to VR as Beat Saber is? Could they do that again? The answer is, dude, that's like trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice. I don't think so, right? And so you release Beat Saber 2, and I think a lot of people are gonna be like, I mean, unless it's fucking crazy good and they just like do something amazing again, all over again. The likelihood is low, right? Unless they're just amazingly creative and talented people that like, and they've got some amazing idea cooking. I just don't see it. So
Yeah.
if they are doing a Beat Saber 2 or they've got another idea for another rhythm game, or they've just got a completely different game in mind, I mean, I can't wait to see what it is. But my faith in that being the next Beat Saber is really low.
Yeah, I agree. I think people have. I mean, obviously, there's a strong core audience for Beat Saber, but I don't think any one of them are looking for the next Beat Saber. And even if they are, like Yaroslav Beck isn't even there anymore.
Right.
Like he was such a creative force behind the development of the first one. Like they might try to do a sequel, but it'll be from a completely different group of people, and a completely different idea, right? Or some, iteration on the original idea that is likely only possible through whatever the new technology is, be it, mixed reality, hand tracking, or whatever the next thing turns out to be.
Yeah. From a personal standpoint, I'm sad. I loved Beat Saber more on PSVR 1 than PSVR 2. I thought the move controllers were perfect for it. And I really spent so much time with it on PSVR 1 and always meant to get back in the groove on PSVR 2. They've had some great DLC packs since bringing it to PlayStation VR 2. I think the Queen pack was great. I think the Metallica pack, obviously. I mean, there's so much good stuff. And so much stuff I still haven't dug my teeth into. I got in there, played a couple songs on some of the newer packs, and then was just like, I'll get back to this, and I never did. Fortunately, that's not going away. I can keep playing all the DLC that I've already purchased or that I already own, and it just we don't get the new DLC, and we don't get to play multiplayer once January rolls around. So we still got the game that we've got, but I think so much of the excitement around Beat Saber tends to be the announcements of the new DLC, the announcements of the new music packs. Every single time it happens, the chat goes crazy, right? We say, "Oh, what do you want to see?" And it's just like I see like nonstop band after band after band, or performer that the chat desperately wants to, play in Beat Saber. So I unfortunately that excitement dies today. That part of this ride is over, and that's really unfortunate. So I'm sad to see it go, but I was obviously fading off of it already. So I would be disingenuous to be like, oh, it's my favorite game. No, man, I got my hundreds of hours in it, right? It's sort of like Firewall 0 Hour. I got my hundreds of hours, and it's like, okay, well, that's over. And sucks there won't be anything new. But whatever.
Time for the return of Audica. Let's go.
I'm down. I'm down.
Me too.
Let's check in with that poll. Where are we at here? Where is the poll? Let's go back to the live chat. Maybe it'll pop up here. All right, let's see. Yeah, dude. I was pretty much spot on. How old are you? 0%. 0% clicked 1 to 15. This is almost 200 votes. There are 3% that are 16 to 24, 18% 25 to 35, and then 79% are all 36 plus. This is the PSVR2 demographics right here. I mean, if you're wondering who is playing PSVR2, you got to own a PlayStation 5. It was definitely very expensive for the longest time. It was, $550. Like that's not something that you just have lying around. I don't care how old you are, but you it's a lot harder to get your parents to buy you one of those when you're younger. So holy crap, man. That's exactly what I expected to see, but seeing it was kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, and I saw a comment in the chat earlier where someone was saying that the poll was indicative of an age problem for VR, and that's not true, actually. The percentage of VR gaming enthusiasts that are in our age demographic is incredibly high. But in terms of like overall VR usage and people who are playing VR, there are tons of kids. The kids dominate the market now. They're not gaming enthusiasts. They're not watching YouTube videos about VR. They're just getting in their Quest 2s and playing Gorilla Tag or whatever the free to play game of the flavor of the week is, you know. Um, so honestly, VR's got a bright future in terms of the age demographic. When these kids start to grow up and their tastes refine a bit, that should be a pretty big boom time for VR gaming.
100% agree. 100% agree. And that's where, that's where Quest's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. That's where Meta's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And, and I think a lot of those gamers will grow into, a PlayStation 6 and a PSVR 3, or however that goes down. Although I'm sure a lot of the chat today, the doom and gloom crowd, is going to say that's not going to happen. There is going to be no PlayStation VR 3. Or Sony's done with VR, that kind of stuff. Every single time we get any negative news at all, the sky is falling. And Sony doesn't care about VR, and it's all over. And it's, listen, I'm here disappointed with the rest of you, but I don't know. I just never see the loss of one game being the demise of an entire platform. When people said PSVR 2's got nothing if Beat Saber doesn't come to it, well, over the last couple of years, we've gotten a shit ton of games, and although Beat Saber sat at the top of the sales charts, I think we were doing just fine without it. They said the same thing about Half-Life Alyx. We still don't have Half-Life Alyx, and we're doing just fine. Sanador, what's up with the level 1 membership? Says, so Beat Saber will still work on PSVR 2 along with DLC? Yes. We lose multiplayer in January, but all the DLC that you own, and I mean, if you still choose to buy the DLC, then that'll continue to work as well. Scrolling up, trying to get back to. Here we go. All right, comic book guy with another £5 says, hi, I played a bit of Climate Station. I thought it was interesting. And P.S. I did watch a David Attenborough documentary at the cinema a few weeks ago. Are you familiar with this Climate Station thing that they released today, Wes?
Not in the least. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, listen. It seems like it's an edutainment type thing. And it's compatible with PSVR 2, PlayStation 5, PSVR 2, and I think it's free to download. That's as far as I know with it. And that a lot of people online are calling it woke propaganda. That's the other part of it I know, which is endlessly entertaining. So I will check it out and report back on Friday's show. But I don't really need to report back. It's free, and if you want to download it, then you can check it out yourself. But that's good to hear, comic book guy. I heard it wasn't terribly. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't mind me. Just tornado. My cat's stepping on important stuff, right? Are you stepping on important stuff? Are you? Give me kisses? No. We're still scrolling. Hold on. Luber, the Underground Game Cat with the level 3 membership, says, what do you think the next big step they're referring to is if it's not a sequel? All right, we're still on Beat Saber, Wes. What do you think the next big step is? Do you think that they're got massive overhauls for Beat Saber, the game, or what?
I think are they supporting mixed reality yet? I think if not, that's kind of the big no-brainer. I feel like at this point that's the feature they've been trying to sell for almost 2 years now. In general, so I would guess that might be it. Full-fledged MR mode with all sorts of new bells and whistles, maybe even for existing DLC, or maybe not. Maybe future DLC is going to support features that PSVR hardware doesn't support. But I would imagine that whatever the next big step is, it's going to tie in to some of their signature features. And right now, the primary one is mixed reality.
Yeah, maybe. I remember Miles being really excited for this thing that they announced a while ago that never ended up coming out. It was like this whole progression system and all these different sabers you could unlock, and it seemed like they were teasing this a long time ago, and they never really came to fruition. And that's my guess. My guess is that they just have like they're kind of revamping how you play the game and the rewards for doing so. You know, if they can Fortniteify, excuse the expression, the entire experience, whereas like every single time you make, you know, you get this XP bar that you're and every time you level up and you're constantly leveling up, even if you're, you know, even if you're failing, then you're unlocking new sabers and new costumes and new skins and new everything, and you know, really maybe doubling down on the multiplayer aspect of it. That's my guess, because we all know that Sony sucks when it comes to the multiplayer side of things, right? Like it's always a challenge to get crossplay up and running. Dealing with Sony to make sure that your game can be multiplayer and support crossplay. Do you have a cat over there? Do you have a cat? Is that what's happening? Are you petting a cat? Are you petting a cat?
Petting a cat.
Oh damn! I was really hoping you did something like this, and I was like, I want to go.
A scratch my side over here.
Sorry, you can see I'm easily distracted today.
My cat is locked out right now though, because she's in heat, and she is insufferable at the moment.
No.
So,
but she's so cute. So cute.
Yeah, I bet if I open my door, you could probably hear her in there. Meow, meow.
Oh man, I took in a cat that went into heat. Like it was this cat that it was around New Year's Eve at the restaurant I was working at, and we were out at the dumpster, and it was like fucking 10 below outside. It was insanely cold, and this cat was there, and we were like, she was super friendly. We're like, what's she doing out here? She's gonna die. And like no one took her home that night, and then she was there the next night too. We're like, fuck man, like she had to survive out here. She's gonna die. I took her home, and within like a week of, you know, getting her warmed up and fed and taken care of, right into heat. Oh my god, it was insufferable.
Try working, man. Try working out of the home when the cat just constantly wants to jump up on your desk, in front of your camera, walking all over the keyboard constantly. And it's literally to the point where, like, I'll grab her, I'll lay her on the ground, she'll jump straight back up onto the desk as soon as I put her on the ground. It's really it's a lot.
Yeah, Tornado's like 5 now, and so she's like way chilled out, and so she don't have those problems. But I don't know if you remember back when I first got her, she would get behind my desk and like step on the 6 outlet adapters and like kill the entire stream. Like the power would just go out in the middle of a 3-hour GAMESCAST. I'm like, no, everything just in the room went dark all of a sudden. So yep, I've been through the kitten days, and luckily she's not quite as curious as she used to be. Anyway, getting back to Looper, I think the next big step is something multiplayer related. I think the multiplayer mode in Beat Saber has always been a little lackluster. I think that it just wasn't that much fun. It was never as cool as Synth Riders. It didn't support as many players as Synth Riders. It just seemed kind of lackluster. It's like they got it in, they got it working, and that was the end of it. I feel like they've got bigger plans, something that would be probably more difficult than something they want to work with Sony on. And I mean, can you imagine like 100-person, like a Tetris 99 version of Beat Saber, where you have like 100 people, and it's almost like a battle royale mode, and people are like, you know, falling out left and right, and you know, and you get to different milestones in the song, where if you're not like you don't have so many points, then you're out. There's so many ways to make Beat Saber just this like phenomenal multiplayer game, and that's where it's always struggled. And so I could totally see that being the next big evolution in the game, and again, not something you have to create a sequel for, just something you continue to build your fan base with the current game, because I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they could totally just completely revamp the game, restructure how it works. With what you're saying, new multiplayer modes, new progression systems, avatars, cosmetics, that they could even follow the trend that everything seems to be following right now and make it a free to play.
Whoa.
Base Beat Saber is free. It's a heavily multiplayer focused experience. There's a community area when you go into the game where you and your friends can hang out and play mini games. Then you can get into the competitive multiplayer stuff if you want. And then new DLC, new song packs, new again, cosmetics kind of tied in to the song packs. So that maybe when you buy the Green Day pack, there's Green Day avatars and Green Day sabers and all of this sort of thing. Again, it's kind of following the trend that's hot right now, and yeah, that very well could be it.
Dude, I think you just nailed it. I think you just answered the question. Because again, Tetris 99 is so popular because it is free to play, and I mean, not that it's not a great game; it's a phenomenal game. But yeah, getting as many VR players in as possible. I mean, they've gotten years and years and years, like close to a decade of sales on this game for $30. It's like never been on sale, and imagine how much money they've raked in on the DLC. To say, okay, now we got to get the rest of the VR gamers now, and we're going to do that by giving it away for free, and then they're going to buy DLC. Dude, I think you nailed it. And then that gives them the player base to create this massive multiplayer mode. I think we figured it out. Good job, Wes.
Thank you.
Next up is Scally Says with the level 1 membership. It says, looking at the BS Beat Saber socials, it's bad for PSVR2. Yeah, it is bad for PSVR2. Yeah, I mean, we're I think there's a little bit of making light of the situation and all that, but I don't want anybody to think that like we're giving Sony a free pass or Meta a free pass. Like this isn't good for the industry. This isn't good for anybody. This game is one of if not the best selling VR games of all time, and
Yeah.
it should just be on all VR platforms. Period. It's not more than anything, it's a bad look for PSVR 2, and I don't like it.
Well, I mean, PSVR 2 is what it's going to be. Like, I think we pretty much established at this point that all the doom and gloom is for nothing. Like, sure, maybe it's not going to get much better in terms of like first party support and big blockbuster games, but it's great as it is with the third party support that we're getting, and better versions of many of the games that are coming out from third parties. It's a great place to play VR if you're a gaming enthusiast, as most PlayStation gamers are. I mean, we said it before, like competition in the VR space is only competitive up to a certain point. The Meta ecosystem is focused on a different group of people than the PC and console based VR is focused on, and competition typically turns out to be good to some extent anyway. So I think VR as a whole is in a good place and it's growing, and I think PSVR 2 specifically is in a good place, and I think 2 years from now we're going to be right here in a similar situation. Although I do think that we will eventually get another first party title or two or maybe even three, before the end of the generation.
On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most likely and 0 being, I guess, 0 to 10, 0 being the least likely, are we getting Resident Evil 9 in VR, Wes? On PSVR 2 specifically, because I don't want to hear about your PC mods.
Yeah, no, so, I would say it's 8. I think it's highly likely that
Nice.
that game will support PSVR.
Yeah, that'll make everything better for a day, and then some other chaos will happen.
I mean, people can sit here and make the case that it doesn't make sense for them to do it, but if that's the case, it didn't make sense for them to do 4 either, and they did. So, like, we've gotten VR versions of everything since 7, pretty much. So, yeah, I think that um, I think it's a good sign that it's another first person perspective Resident Evil game. I think they've already worked out in the engine how to develop uh, a VR version pretty easily. So I don't think it's that heavy of a lift for them to support PSVR2 with it. So, yeah, I think it's extremely likely that it'll be supported.
Uh, we got Ben L, the Ghost Cat, with the level 3 membership, says, I still wish they'd make a mode in Beat Saber where you pulled the triggers to change to an alternate set of colors. 4 colors to deal with coming right at your face. Yeah. Great idea. Great idea. You do start to wonder. You're like, how does that start killing the simplicity of Beat Saber? You know, it's almost like deceptively simple. But yeah, there's a million things they could do with Beat Saber, and that's a really good one.
I think that would add uh, a non-zero amount of difficulty to the equation because your brain gets trained in on red and blue, right? And like you develop this kind of reflex to move in a certain way based on those colors, and you train to those colors now over years. So I think switching up the color is something that they could do, but um, I think it's a good way to just add difficulty, right? Just flipping those colors to something else allows you to have to kind of retrain yourself and get good all over again.
I will tell you that.
What if they just flip them? Like you hit a button and all of a sudden now, red is blue and blue is red.
My brain would not listen. Even when new DLC packs came out that gave you like purple and gray or yellow, and they were DLC packs that changed the color of the blocks. A lot of them did, and that broke my brain. I the only way I was able to get good at Beat Saber was by always having red on one side, blue on the other side. These other colors can go fuck themselves. But having 4 colors total and being able to that could, I feel like, inch my way towards evolving my, the way that my brain worked in Beat Saber. But too late now. It's not gonna happen. All right, we already get Sanador, and then we're not caught up yet. Holy crap! I thought we were caught up. We're not even close to getting caught up. We got AJ in the chat. PSVR Underground with a $10 tip. It says, no hate against Beat Saber. Yeah, right. Yaroslav Beck was extremely kind, even in success, but just wanted to mention some other amazing games like Smash Drums, Synth Riders, Pistol Whip, and Rez with eye tracking.
Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah, it's not like we don't have any rhythm games. We got nothing.
And don't forget about the amazing Trombone Champ VR or Trombone Champ Unflattened.
I think we need some Trombone Champ footage here. There we go.
Now that's a title that's going to get long-term PSVR2 support, just in case you're wondering. And we are working on big-time DLC packs for that as well.
There you go, you guys. You heard it here first. Who needs Beat Saber when you got a trombone in your life? Thanks for the tip, AJ. Yeah, it's good to focus on the positive. Dead Ringer's Game Cat with a $2 tip says, at least we still have Samba de Amigo. Oh, no, wait. That was a Quest game. Oh, man. That would have been great. I would have loved having Samba de Amigo on PSVR 2. Any Sega game, really. I love Sega. Waterside Guy with the $10. What's up, Josh? Says, how are the new Harmonix games doing after Rock Band? Oh, nothing. Wait a minute, hold on a second. How are the new Harmonix games doing after Rock Band? Oh, nothing. Wow, what a surprise. But I'm sure Beat Saber dev's going to give us something bigger and better. Holding my breath. Yeah, I don't think we're getting anything from... I that's my guess. My guess is that they are done with PSVR 2, and because they're owned by Facebook, that's the end of it. This relationship is over, and unless there's more games that they want from PlayStation, and other deals can be made, other deals can be struck up, then we're not seeing anything else from the Facebook side of things happen on PlayStation, and also that requires Sony to fucking care, right? Sony's going to care enough to enter negotiations, and they're not even bringing their own PSVR1 games over. They're not. They're not. So far, we haven't seen like any plans to bring like Resident Evil 7 over. Sony is presenting themselves as not caring that much about getting new titles, their own titles on the platform, or titles that they funded previously on the platform. Right? We talk a lot about how games make it to PlayStation, how games make it to Meta, and how so much first-party support is required in order to make those things happen. But at least from a first-party perspective, they don't seem to care about all this too much. So I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just rambling at this point, Wes. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
What we do. It's what we do, Brian.
It's what we do. Water Side Guy, again, with another 10, says, sorry, always late. Dope. All right, we were late reading tips, and so that's all right. But I think it's time to get off of Beat Saber and move along to something else and focus on some other good stuff happening around here. Let's go with, I don't know, man. You want to talk about Presentiment of Death?
Sure. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Cool. I don't even know when Presentiment of Death is out. Is it out now? I don't even fucking know. It's definitely this week.
This week.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
Well, here's my take. It looks beautiful in the headset. Super high res. Very clear. I think the bow and arrow mechanics work great. Runs at 90 native. So, I mean, so far so good, right? And then it ends like
the bow and arrow mechanics work okay.
Oh, talk to me.
But just either I suck worse at this than I do on any other archery game, or they're not as precise. The aiming isn't as precise as it is on other games that I play. And I play a lot of archery games. I'm typically pretty good at them, and not that I suck at this one. I was pretty good at this one too, but it always felt like the pitch of the shot was just a little off from where I was aiming, and I had to constantly adjust the angle of my hand to get the arrow to go where I needed it to go.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just how it felt for me.
I think I'm going to agree with you, because I have definitely played a lot of archery games in VR. My guess is that a lot of them use eye tracking to kind of assist in where the arrow is supposed to go. And I don't think this one does that, because I think, let's see, all this footage that I'm showing you is after I came to the realization that I'm not very good at this game. And so as the time only moves when you knock your arrow, right? When you pull back, that is when time starts moving faster, right? And then, so between shots, it doesn't move very fast at all. It's moving very, very slowly. This is the super hot mechanic. I found out that I'm way better at this game when I just fucking shoot a ton of fucking arrows, right? And I hold the bow sideways, right? Because then it just seems like I had more accuracy that way.
I didn't try that.
Shot a ton of arrows, and so obviously that created time to go too fast, but only in short spurts, rather than trying to let it go fast for one long spurt, and then missing that arrow and being like, well, shit, now I'm fucked. And so I thought that quantity over quality was the way to go, and then I beat the game in 40 minutes. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that worked. But the whole time, Wes, I'm thinking in my head, well, this is just for me to get through these levels now. I guarantee when I'm done, it's going to show me all the levels and show me that I only 1-starred all of them and didn't 3-star all of them, and that there was something somewhere that was talking about, precision and go back and do it better to achieve these results and open up these other levels or these skins or something. And that, outside of trophies, that doesn't exist here at all, right? So even though I kind of feel like I cheesed my way through the game by just doing this nonstop barrage of arrows, it gave me no incentive to go back and play it, properly, in air quotes. So it feels very strange. And then you get Zocus, the developers of this, saying, if it sells well, we'll consider adding some content and some features. And I'm like, but wait, what? I hate that so much.
Yeah, it feels a bit bare bones. The core gameplay loop is fun. It's basically super hot with bows and arrows instead of all the other things. And and like Brian said, it looks good. I mean, the environments are a bit simplistic, but they're super clear and has a cool aesthetic. But it feels kind of like a proof of concept. It doesn't feel like a fully featured game, right? Like, um, with that said, I didn't go all the way through it. I can't imagine that there's a ton more left, but I mean, if you got through it in 40 minutes, I think I played it about that long. Um, but yeah, it feels like there should definitely be more to it than what there is.
I do like that there's bosses and there are enemies that shoot arrows back at you, and ones that throw these giant wrenches, and you can actually catch the wrenches in midair and throw them back. So there is stuff, but it feels like it's just getting started when it ends. So it went from a game that felt like, being like, oh wow, they're only charging $15 for this. This is great. What a value. I'm so excited to tell people this is definitely gonna be one to pick up. To being like, oh man, $15 suddenly sounds really expensive for this. Like as is, it feels like it should be like $7 or $8, right? And then if they add to it, give us charge for some DLC packs or something. But it feels like they're charging for a game that doesn't exist yet. It feels like they're charging for the proof of concept. Even when you're done, I think there's like an endless mode, and it's really difficult. The endless mode is really hard. Like, I mean, I only survive like 20 seconds at most. Like, you just stand in one environment and they just come at you from all directions, and it's really, really difficult. But like, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me to go, oh yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot of content here, or enough content here. A scoring system, I think, would really solve a lot of the problems. Give you points for headshots. Have a star ranking system, that kind of thing.
A clock, so that the faster that you make it through, the more points that you score.
Yeah.
Bonuses for precision. Yeah, I think a scoring system is definitely something that it needs. Because you can tie in so many different gameplay elements into that scoring system and make it, a game. Make it into a game other than just, touch the enemies with your arrow. And move on to the next board.
Yeah. So a little bit of a disappointment. However, like I'm doing a Brian bite on this one, and so I want to hear from the chat. Like usually I reserve one out of 3 paws for, like, don't buy this. Like this is in rough shape. But like the gameplay elements are great, and it's really fun while it lasts, and it looks good and sounds good and feels good to play. And so I think with the caveat that it feels expensive for what it is, it's still a 2 out of 3 paws, right? Like, is that everyone gonna be on board with that? Does that work?
Yeah, that sounds right. It's like a 6 out of 10 for me. Like it's like I think it's slightly below average as a title, but I think that, in terms of what's here, it's probably the quality of what they have here is like 8 out of 10. It's just there's not enough of it, and it's not fleshed out enough, and that's what it kind of brings it down to being just below average. But I think it's definitely not a 1 on your paw scale, so it didn't have to be 2, right?
Awesome Datum says 1.5 paws if it goes on sale.
There you go.
Yeah. I saw Spooky Yuki in the chat asking if Cold VR is coming to PSVR2. They have gone oddly silent on that front, but I'm happy because I know that it had, if I remember correctly, at least it seemed like it was having performance issues on PC. Maybe not for everybody, but it sounded like it was at some point. So I just want to, when it gets to PSVR2, to be really, really polished and run really, really smooth. But yeah, it is still coming.
Yeah.
But I think the more interesting story about that question is that the Cold VR developer Allware, the single guy team, as far as I know, already announced his next project and said that he wants to bring it to PSVR2. Did you see this, Wes?
I did not. I don't see much these days, Brian.
It's all good. I still have to ask. So hold on. Do I have? Yes, I do have it. Okay, so this is the teaser reveal for their next game, or his next game, called What Comes After, and it is a. It looks like a survival shooter, and his plan for this is to. And first of all, it looks beautiful, right? Already, this is super early footage, and it looks beautiful. He's talking about being a survival shooter and having it release in seasons, whereas initially you buy the game at a super cheap price, like under $10, something like that, and then if you bought it in early, like an early access program, you get future seasons for free, right? But the price goes up with every season that they add. So it feels kind of like the Crisis Brigade model, if you remember that. It was like $6 at launch or $7 at launch, and then eventually it became like a $15-20 game because they kept adding more and more levels. And this looks great.
Yeah. I think I might have seen something about this last week, or maybe it was the week before. I didn't read into it enough to know that it was Allware that was doing it, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. And so, obviously the second it was announced, the Twitter got flooded with PSVR2, 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 including me. And the developer was super nice to respond to my DM and being like, yes, absolutely. That's the plan. I was like, all right, great. So as always, it may launch on other platforms first, but he definitely wants to bring it to PSVR2. So good stuff as always. Good news. Where are we at, man? What else we got? You want to talk about Escaping Wonderland? That's coming out tomorrow or today or something.
I think it's today, actually.
Fucking cool. You played this already on Quest?
Yes, I did play this on Quest. This is kind of a, I don't know if it's a direct sequel to Down the Rabbit Hole, but it's kind of like a spiritual sequel in the same vein as that game. And yeah, man, it's good. It's very similar. The same type of thing going on here, where you're kind of descending through these worlds and accompanying the lead character as she goes on an adventure and tries to find her way back out into the real world. Super heavily inspired by Alice in Wonderland, obviously, and it very much feels like almost like Disney-esque, but not in a corny way, but like old school Disney, where they're telling a good story. The story always has a moral to it, which I think is awesome, and larger than life characters, right? Like in the typical Disney fashion, where you've got animal characters or like trolls, or you have all of these characters that aren't humans, but they're humanoid, right? They act like humans. They have very distinct personalities, and no, I was really a pretty big fan of this game when I played it on Quest. I think the environments are great. I think the characters, the voice acting, and the storytelling are all like super top notch, and the puzzles are fun. Like this is a good one. Recommend this one.
Yeah, the whole diorama aspect of it, the way you kind of like looking into the world, I think works really well. I think it looks really nice in the headset. It's super crisp and clear. It runs at a nice high frame rate, so you're not seeing reprojection as you're like moving the world around, that kind of thing. My only concern, I'm early on in this. I'm only about an hour in, and I'll be playing through. I'm guessing I'll probably play through this, finish this up tonight or tomorrow, and then hopefully have a review out in the next few days after that. My only concern is that I really liked the beginning of Down the Rabbit Hole. It was like, I really enjoyed it, and then it halfway through it just felt like it started falling apart. Like the areas weren't as interesting, the puzzles weren't as much fun, and it sort of lost the charm that the game started with, and it gave you this feeling like that you were going through the world, and this sort of side thing you were doing were collecting all these invitations that the rabbit had lost at the beginning of the game. And they just didn't like lean into that hard enough. Hey, like you're dealing with a VR game, and they treated that aspect of it like a flat screen game. Like, you can grab onto vines and like pull the world really close to your face and get your head in there. It's like, make me do that. Make me explore this world and really see every crevice and look for those invitations hidden in weird places. And it seems like they're doing that a little bit more with the collectibles in this game. And so as long as the puzzles maintain their fun aspect, that it's kicked off with, and the worlds continue to be charming, I think I'm going to like this one significantly more than Down the Rabbit Hole, but that is yet to be seen.
Yeah, that Down the Rabbit Hole was kind of fuzzy in my memory, but I do remember feeling like this was a definite improvement over Down the Rabbit Hole. And while I didn't finish it, I did play it more than I typically play when I get in to check out a game. I went back for multiple sessions in this one, and it continued to get better as I went. So at least, I feel like I was maybe halfway through the game or a little bit more, and I feel like it was getting better the entire time.
AJ in the chat says, "I'm at the end. It stays dope." AJ, how long did it take you to get to the end? What are we talking about here? Give me some HLTB data. I want to know. But this feels like a safe buy. If this is the kind of stuff you're into, you like the third person stuff in VR, with some very cool first person interactions. Even the very first puzzle I ran into, which was sort of a pipe thing where you're just connecting these different pipes, it felt good. It felt good to do. So if you're into this stuff, I feel like this is a safe purchase. That is as long as it's $20. I didn't even check the price on this. I'm going to check right now.
Yeah, I think $20 is right. 20 or 25. Yeah, the first person stuff is cool. There's definitely there was a couple spots that stumped me for a little while, which I think was cool. There's some like larger scale interactions. I don't want to call them boss fights, but I mean they're kind of like a boss fight, although it's like more puzzle focused and not an actual fight. There were some bigger set pieces and bigger areas in it, and just polished as it can be. That's one of the trademarks of the series. I feel like is that they're all very polished, and it feels like a game that not every VR game can you attract a crowd in a room to sit back and watch on the flat screen and be entertained while they watch you play, outside of the novelty of watching you do crazy shit in the air. Right. This is a game that I feel like people could watch you playing on a screen and be entertained by it. Not every VR game is like that, but this one is.
Nice. As you can see, you can pull your head right into the environment, and like it doesn't fade to black. It doesn't clip out, and it maintains, like, it's very detailed even when you pull your head right into it. I really like this. AJ in the chat is saying it's about 3 or 4 hours, and I just checked the PlayStation store. It's $20. This feels perfect. This feels absolutely perfect. So I'm looking forward to spending some more time with this today and tomorrow, and then reporting back as soon as I can. Mad Vegan says, loved American McGee's Alice. Yeah, dude. Like, I wish this had that dark element to it. This feels very cutesy, very charming, very, but very wholesome simultaneously. It does have that Disney-esque element that Wes was talking about. I would much prefer it, as comes to no surprise to you guys, if it was dark as fuck. But not every game can be designed for me, sadly.
It's kind of dark. I mean, it's not the Midnight Walk or anything, but it's not all happy. It does deal with some real world themes and stuff, even if it does approach it in like a childlike way.
Yeah. All right, man. We covered a lot of topics today. This was a good one. Doesn't hold a candle to Monday's episode, which was 7 to 12 hours, if I remember correctly. That's how it felt anyway. I don't know. But it's time for a 4-minute challenge, and Wes is the one picking the game today. Remember, you guys, this is how this works. Wes has picked a PSVR1 or PSVR2 game. It's up in that little head of his. And then it's up to us to figure out what game it is. We've got an infinite number of yes or no questions, but only 4 minutes to ask them in. So I need your suggestions in the chat. Give me good questions to ask, and then give me good suggestions on what game it might be based on the answers we get. Wes, have you chosen a game?
I have chosen a game.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to put the timer up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. On your mark, get Des. Oh, by the way, Des says hi. Des, I hadn't talked to Des, and so last month he sent his regrets about not being able to make it to the GameCat meetup, and
Yep.
and then today he was like, oh man, send my regrets to all the cats out there for the loss of Beat Saber, and I was like, oh, you've been paying attention to the negative news. That's wonderful. All right. He better send a fucking text if RE9 comes to VR. Okay, if I only get reactions from negativity and not positivity, he's gonna hear about that shit. All right, let's do this. On your mark, get Des, go. Is it on PSVR 1?
No.
Ooh. Is it a PSVR 2 exclusive?
No.
No. Okay. I need a notepad. To take these notes. Not an exclusive, but it is PSVR 2. Is it a first person shooter? I didn't hear you. Say again.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not FPS. Is it a puzzle game?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a classic puzzler, but if we had to put a genre on it, I'd say it's a puzzle game.
Okay, there's puzzles. Okay. Can you play it on the flat screen?
Yes.
Ooh, okay, that limits things. Okay, I got to get this out of my head. Was it made by Wolf and Wood? I don't know why I had that in my head. I had The Last Worker in my head. I'm not sure why. Okay, yeah, Looper's asking if it's a Jeff Minter game. That's a good question.
No.
Okay. Shades of Grey Matter says, does it have a realistic art style?
No, I mean, there are elements of realism to it, but I would consider it cartoony in a way.
Okay. Ace Gamer Cat asked if it's multiplayer.
No.
No. AJ is wondering if it's Enhance Games. Was it published by Enhance?
No.
Okay.
No, and it's not. I call it cartoony. It's not cartoony in a way that you would think cartoon. Like, I don't want to mislead you into thinking that it's like an animation style game. It does have elements of realism to it. It has a very distinct art style that it is its own.
Okay. All right, it's not on PSVR 1. It's on PSVR 2, but not exclusive. It's not a first-person shooter. It has puzzles, maybe not a traditional puzzle game, but you can also play it on the flat screen. This is the big one right here, because you can only play so many PSVR 2 games on the flat screen. Does it feature eye mechanics, with eye tracking or blinking or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay. I'm thinking before your eyes. I don't know if that helps at all. Maybe we can get there. Chaos is wondering if it's like a top 25 game. Was it good?
It's hard to say these days. There's so many good titles. I would probably, it would be in contention for top 25 in my opinion.
All right. Was it a launch game?
No.
Did it come out 2025?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Guys, it's a game that you can play on the flat screen. Wait, does this use claymation?
It does.
Oh my god. How many people said the Midnight Walk before I finally paid attention? Is this the Midnight Walk?
It is indeed the Midnight Walk, Brian.
Oh god, what is wrong with me? That's fantastic. Did you happen, I don't want to go down a whole nother path of negativity today, but did you happen to play the post-patch resolution update version of this game?
No, I've barely played VR recently. I want to, and I want to get back into it. I haven't even played it on my PC yet, it's in my library, and I can super sample it all to hell. And I loved what I played of it in Boston, but I have not returned to it since then. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting back into this one very soon. Actually, it's on the top of my to-do list.
Yeah, I guess. Listen, old Darth saying that was a little bit of an easy one. I only had 30 seconds left when I actually guessed it, so apparently I can't handle anything more difficult than the Midnight Walk. It's fair. All right, you guys. We'll definitely be interested in hearing your impressions of these updates, and hoping again that Moon Call. Is that them? Are interested in continuing to work on this game and perfect it. So we have this amazing showpiece title.
They just landed like a TV or a movie deal, I think, to do like a video version of this, which I think is fucking incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully it's not blurry. Imagine the TV show comes up and it's blurry. We're like, why is it blurry? And they're like, oh, clear your cache data. Maybe that'll fix it. Sorry. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. It was awesome. I should have asked if it was creepy. This would have been the definition of a creepy game, and it would have been the first time saying that it was creepy would have actually been accurate. Can't win. I can't win, man. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to Wes over on Virtual Strangers, where they cover all things VR, not just PSVR2. And anything going? I know you've been busy, man. Anything to look forward to over there? Anything planned?
Yeah, we're gonna do a episode any day now, literally any day now. We're gonna have Roots and I are going to give our impressions of Zombie Army VR, which, like I mentioned, we got together and played some last week. Nice. And we're going to go over the highlights of the last few weeks of VR announcements, of which there have been many, many highlights, whether we're talking about Reach or Deadpool VR. There's been a lot of big announcements and awesome looking games announced lately. So we're going to talk about those just as soon as I can carve a couple hours out to actually do it.
I love it, man. I love it. Deadpool was a good announcement. I like that trailer a lot. Seemed like a good one. So,
Neil Patrick Harris, like, really? Wow.
Yeah, I love NPH. So I am.
Oh, Thief. Yeah, Shades of Grey Matter. Right. Thief VR got announced. Incredible.
But most importantly, Luminous Arise. Like, that is. Listen, everyone loves Tetris Effects, but I'm a bigger Luminous fan, so that's right up my alley. I can't wait for that one. But yeah, lots of good announcements, and looking forward to seeing you and the crew talk about everything that's happened over the last few weeks. It's been a really good couple weeks for VR. It's been really good, despite how it may, certain things seem like they're negative and can really, sour specific days. If you let that news get to you. Overall, the news in VR land has been, I think, overwhelmingly positive the last few weeks, and just really, really exciting. And like, there's shit just on the horizon that has yet to be announced, and stuff that is coming. I'll just shut up now. Just everyone stay positive and look forward, because the future is brighter than you even realize.
Yeah.
But thanks for supporting the channel, everybody. Love you guys for being here, for financially supporting the channel over on patreon.com/withoutparole or tipping during the show, or being a member over here. It all really helps pay the bills, and I appreciate you so very much. But even if you're just here hanging out, shooting the shit, we just love that you're part of our community. So make sure that you continue to shoot the shit with us in chats like this, and come join our Discord. Click the link in the description below. But even if you're one of those out there who sits back and watches the show and doesn't say a goddamn word, we know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy Wednesday, Wes.
Happy Wednesday, Ryan. Happy Wednesday, cats. We'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully. Godspeed.
And I'll see you on Friday. Let's go. I love the blood that I added to the Death of Beat Saber thumbnail. This is wonderful. In a couple of years, when we look back at what was happening in PSVR history or Without Parole history, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm so glad I added the blood to that thumbnail. But now it's time to look back what was happening this week in Without Parole history. Let me scroll. And what are we looking for? We're looking for roughly June 18th, Scroll down to that. June 18th. Blah, blah, blah. Where are we? The backup hard drive is slow as always.
Virtual Resistance in the chat says Firmament announcement on X.
Oh.
That means.
So, well, we knew they passed certification. And they were going to be distributing review keys and getting keys to their backers very soon. So here, I'm going to check our Discord news because that's where people like to post news as soon as it happens. What are you guys doing? How come you haven't posted it on our Discord news already? Don't worry, we'll talk about it soon enough. But I'm sure I'm fucking guaranteeing that this game is coming out like within the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. No release date.
Looking at it right now. Yes. Cyan Worlds 5 minutes ago. Friends on PlayStation. More great news.
Woohoo.
We're excited to announce that Firmament will arrive on PS4 and PS5 July 2nd.
Just PS4 and PS5? They didn't say PSVR2 specifically.
Bullet points. 3 immersive realms to explore.
Yeah.
Optional PSVR2 support.
Woo!
Complex environmental puzzles to solve. Wishlist now. Yeah.
Suck on that,
coming.
Facebook. Just kidding. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
It's going to be blurry and have frame rate issues. Get ready for it. But it's still good.
Yeah, it'll definitely use reprojection. There's no way that a game this beautiful is not going to be running at 90 hertz native. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I made my PC chug, so I expect similar things.
All right. Well, hopefully, I got in touch with them not that long ago, and they said that hey, thanks for reaching out. We'll, definitely put you on the list of influencers or whatever they called me, and yeah. So hopefully I'll have a review ready for launch or embargo or whatever. But I'll keep you posted, you guys. Fingers crossed for this one, because these are the kind of games I want more of in VR. All right, Wes. I can't even see. Do you want to go to 2023, 2024? Oh, we can all the way back to 2021?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Let's see what's happening on this very day, 4 years ago in 2021 with Parole history. Interesting. Despite stiff competition, Firewall prevails. This must have been a slow news week, but
Yeah.
it was. But we got in the thumbnail you can see Alvo, Solaris Off-World Combat, and then for whatever reason I cannot remember who this girl with the pink hair is. Do you see the image on your screen yet?
But it might be Larcenauts, maybe. Was that around that time?
Oh my god, it might be. I mean, listen, Firewall Zero Hours this was one of those games that just absolutely prevailed throughout the entire even with all the complaints, people calling it a lobby simulator and complaining about how long it took to unlock different gadgets, and there were so many complaints against Firewall Zero Hour, and a lot of them rightfully so. That game just persevered, man. Like, it didn't matter what came out. Very, very loyal fan base, and a fantastic game. I miss it.
Well, that was my all platforms considered. That was my favorite versus multiplayer shooter in VR up until the end. Like it was the best. There was no better time to be had shooting your friends than there was in Firewall at that time. That's the reason why Ultra and its untimely demise was so disappointing, because they were so close, Brian, to replicating it for a new generation. And yeah, it feels like it just had its legs cut out from under it way too soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. For as great as Firewall ended up being, it definitely took some time to get to being that great. And yeah, it did seem like that Ultra never had that chance to shine. But what can you do, man? What can you do? You take your lumps, you move on, and you open the doors to sirens on my end, to other shooters that maybe launch with I think those sirens like fucking got real loud and then they just stopped. I think they're in my parking lot. You
Yeah,
guys may
they're
never see
coming
me
for
again.
you.
That's it. All right, man. Let's get out of here.